the the witching hour, March 31st, 2025. Like, subscribe, share, comment, cause you're beautiful. That's why. So y'all, I'm laughing because there was this YouTuber. he's a he's a TI, right? He has a big following. And one day he was doing a video outdoors. His videos, he always does his videos are always done as live streams, even if they're short. I think. Anyway, I don't know. They used to be. And so they were making noise during during his video. It was like so like it was so like um in your face, and he says thank you, Captain Obvious, because it was so clear and so like it was well so obvious what they were doing. I don't know why that I never laughed at that before, but for some reason I thought that was actually really good. Anyway, I did not pray in the witching hour. My prayers today went 4 hours and 21 minutes. It's 11:45 p.m. So I am glad that I did get to finish my prayers before 12 noon. During the first half of the day. But yeah, I was too tired. It was just not going to be realistic. God was wonderful, you guys. As I was praying, His protection over me was just oh my gosh, I can't even tell you, you guys. All I can say is the Lord gets stronger and stronger, and this program gets weaker and weaker. We already know that God is infinitely powerful, so by that I simply mean that the Lord manifests more and more of His power, and oh my goodness, praise His holy name. The Lord manifests more and more of His power, and as He does so, this program gets weaker and weaker. And if the first maybe 2 hours or so, they were targeting me pretty good. Like they were really trying to be intense with it or whatever. And the Lord empowered me to meditate on the light and love of His presence surrounding all of the DEWs, the noise, the vibrations, all that crap. And it's just like light to Dracula. Dracula cannot stand sunlight, so every time you try to expose him to sunlight, he goes back to the darkness. So they're sitting there trying to ruin my prayers with all these DWs and all this crap. And I'm imagining light and love. I'm doing my best to visualize it as being surrounded by the words love written in light as two fundamental attributes of who God is. God is love, okay, and we know that love never fails. First Corinthians chapter 13. And then we know God's word also says that God is light, and in Him there is no darkness. So this is not New Age. This is not Eastern religion. This is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So, so I'm doing that, and it just the second hour, the Lord empowered me to hone in better than I had been doing the second half of my prayers. The Lord empowered me to hone in better than I was doing during the first 2 hours of my prayers, and the target, they just kept dying down. They kept dying down. They kept dying down because they weren't able to distract my mind. I mean, the upstairs neighbor was stomping his feet. I know it's not really funny, but they really tried. But you can't fight God. My God is too powerful for them. Praise His holy name. So when I'm able to hone in, and one thing that the Lord has been making me do is not just meditate on the word love written in light, but also meditate on the articulation of the word. So instead of hearing the sounds, I'm hearing the word love being vibrated. I'm hearing the word love being droned. And that has been a key in empowering me to do my prayers, which is to say, pray in tongues, pray in English, and pray in tongues, pray in English, all at the same time, and then meditate on the words that I've written in light surrounding all of the targeting. And I'm just here to tell y'all the Lord is praise His holy name, y'all. He keeps building within me the ability to do this, more and more as oh my gosh, as the months and the years pass, and to just see him cause the targeting to just go down, to go down, to go down. Brian too says that it's primarily AI that runs the program, and you know, however true that is, because I know Brian too knows what he's talking about. I can tell you that the demonic entities, which Brian too talks about as well, um, they cannot take the presence of God. They can't take His light and His love, and so the authority that he takes over this program is just phenomenal, you guys. It's supernatural. It's extraordinary. It just is. It's extraordinary. And I mean, I have no words. I almost right now feel overwhelmed. I feel so blessed. So blessed, you guys. I feel so blessed. Like I said, I don't have words. I feel so blessed. But at the same time, I feel almost like the anticipation is almost like, because I know that I want to say the Lord has given me authority over this program. And there might be a way of wording it, as long as I understand that it is God doing the work. It is God working the miracle. It's not me. But I don't really want to do that. I just want to say that God has taken authority, and verbalize it like that. God is the one taking authority over this program. What He's doing is, it truly is extraordinary. It truly is phenomenal. And it used to be before that when dude would stomp his feet, whenever I was like kind of like really, I was being able to see the words love written in light instead of just the targeting, just the DEWs, the fear vibrations, etc. That would kind of like get me a little upset. Like it would make me kind of. There's a few times where I thought, boy, I had to go up there and um, I had to go up to his room and give him a black eye, but I didn't do it. Everybody in Cheyenne owns a pew pew, so I ain't trying to do that. But anyway, as he was stomping his feet, the Lord was even empowering me to visualize each stomp as a big ball of light and made up of the words love that are written in light, all compacted together. And every time he'd stomp, and I didn't do this perfectly, but this is where I was going with it and where the Lord's carrying me with it. Every time he stomped, it was like this ball was banging, and then the words love written in light would fly off of it. Boom, 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 boom. They want to torture us. Let's torture their demons. And as far as the guy upstairs is concerned, I don't know if he's possessed by Satan or not. Because if you are possessed by Satan, you can detect the power, like you can sense the presence of God. And so I don't know if that's why he's stomping his feet, because he's like, stop thinking on love, stop thinking on love. And it's kind of like torturing him, or if it's just simply the demons that run this program are making him to try to keep me in check and make it impossible. But the reality is that the Lord keeps building me up in this more and more and more as time passes. And He's taken authority over this program, you guys. It may have taken a little over 2 years to get to this place, but it has been a wonderful journey. The Lord has shut this targeting off for me many times when they're trying to overwhelm me, and the Lord's like, no, I'm not letting you do that to him. So it's not like the Lord hasn't taken full control and authority of this program in the past and shut it off and stuff like that, because He has. But He's using this program to purify my heart. You know? There's multiple reasons why God destroyed the world under Noah, right? In Noah's time. But one of the reasons He said is that every thought, and I'm going to paraphrase, essentially, every thought in the hearts and minds of people going down to their youth are corrupt and evil. So, God destroyed all men, women, and children at that time with the flood. So obviously, the children probably didn't get much of a time to be corrupt. But you get judged on your heart, just thinking wicked thoughts. The Lord just has no tolerance for that. So I know that the Lord is purifying my heart, and I wish more TIs could see it this way, but they don't. And if you tell TIs this, TIs will try to make it look like you're blaming them for the targeting, or you're trying to say they deserve the targeting. And I've never said that I don't deserve the targeting, but I'm grateful for what God's using the targeting to do in my life. I'm grateful for the fact that He's using the targeting to purify my heart and to completely change me from the person I used to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys why you guys aren't experiencing God working radical, extraordinary miracles in your life. So please pause here and get some paper and a pen. So the reason is because you have to help the poor. The poor are folks who are homeless, homeless veterans, homeless TIs, folks in the third world who might starve to death without outside assistance. That's who the poor are. And Malachi chapter 3 just Malachi chapter 3, God says that he says, if you do not pay your tithes and offerings, that you are robbing him. And he says you are cursed. That's God says that, not me. Don't take it out on me. Don't tell me I'm cursing you. I'm not. God curses you. Jesus says the same thing in Matthew 25. For not helping the poor, Jesus says you're cursed. Ezekiel 16:48 and 49. Ezekiel says, this was the guilt of your sister Sodom and her sisters and her daughters. She had pride, excess of food, prosperous ease, and she did not aid the poor and the needy. To not help the poor, to not pay your tithes and offerings, to spend your money on things like eating out when eating in is cheaper, healthier, and generally tastier. New clothes when the clothes you have are perfectly fine, or you can get free used clothes from churches. You just need to be humble enough to do it and to wear them. Going out to Starbucks just so you can brag about going out to Starbucks and paying for their overpriced drinks. Membership, subscription, cable, vacations, cruises, going out to the movies, etc. When you guys spend money on this stuff, and you know there are people starving to death, you know there are homeless children, children that you can sponsor in the third world and save them from starvation. You know that there's homeless veterans, homeless TIs. All these people, you can use your money to help make their lives a little bit better. But you choose to have fun with that money. What you're doing is one of the abominations that led to the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. There's also Psalms 41, 1 through 3, and Ezekiel 16, 48 and 49. And one of my favorite scriptures, because these scriptures tell you the curses and the blessings. There are radical blessings for people who do help the poor in this way and who do it sacrificially. But one of the most important ones to me is in Psalms 41, 1 through 3. Part of what that says is God will not hand you over to the will of your enemies. And because the will of this program is that I be upset, stressed, anxious, fearful, on edge, barely able to hang in there, God won't deliver me over to that. Why? Because the Lord makes me give sacrificially. 30% of all my government subsidies, which comes out to 60% of my SSI, because it all has to come from the SSI, that's the only money I have, goes to the third world. The Lord makes me sponsor 12 young ladies. Every month, I redo, because I've already done 12. I just go back 12 months and redo theirs. I paid 12 sponsorship months. That's $39 times 12. And then I send the parents $200. They get to keep $150. And keeping in mind that in these countries, some of these countries, like a year's income is like $500. So if you pay, if With $150, you're like giving them 3 months' wages. They may buy a mating pair of goats or a nursing goat so they can start a flock and build up wealth in their own country and have access to meat, cheese, yogurt, butter, milk, all the stuff that you can get from a goat. Because God makes me do that. God makes me tithe my money to him. The Lord makes me tithe my money to him in this way. And the Lord makes me tithe my time to him. And as a result, because he has made me obey him for over 2 years now, he manifests himself more and more, you guys. He takes more and more authority and power over this program. And it is truly extraordinary to behold. Who am I? I'm nobody. God has this for you, you guys. It's not going to happen overnight. You can't pay your tithe because TIs, Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Saying everything that I've just said about saving people, there's a lot of people, TIs included, who will do it once and they want everything to change and they're not going to do it again because they didn't want to do it in the first place. So they'll do it once. And some of them will go on and say, well, God didn't help me. I've helped the poor. Yeah, you did it once. You don't do it once. You do it every single time you get money or resources. At least 10% needs to go to the poor. But if you don't want to suffer, because I know I don't like suffering, follow what the Lord has me teaching and preaching. Tithe your time to him through prayer. A minimum of 2 hours and 24 minutes every day. That's 10% of your day. I just finished my prayers. My prayers were just under 4 hours and 22 minutes. And tithe your money to the Lord and help the poor. You're going to get to know God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God that led the Israelites through the Red Sea on dry ground and destroyed the most powerful army in the world at the time. That was the Egyptian army. That's the same God we serve, and I'm telling you, this program is nothing to him. God laughs at his enemies. But if you want God to work for you, he's not going to work for you when you're doing that kind of stuff. Wasting money on crap and letting people die. I know y'all can't save everybody, but you can get you can get rid of the gym membership. Boom, you can sponsor a child and potentially save the whole family from starvation. $39 a month. World Vision gives the basic staples needed for survival to the sponsored child and to the entire family of the sponsored child. But for too many of you, it's just, I got to go to the gym and I have to be able to let people know, oh, I went to the gym today and this, that, and the other, just so you have something to brag about. Just keeping it real. So hopefully God will reach y'all and you'll start doing what he told me to teach and preach. I send out my love to all y'all. Beautiful born again TIs. God bless.